Market cap right under 450 billion. Bitcoin over 10,000. Yesterday it was not. These little, we're having to choppy water as envisioned. It basically feels like somebody, a group of people are playing their own game. It's kind of like have you ever, as a little kid, you ever playing football, you and your friends, and you're just throwing the ball around, having a good time, and all of a sudden, like, the upperclassmen come in and they want to play, and then before you know it, like, it's not even your game anymore. They're just running the show, and you can't even compete. It's kind of how it feels what's happening with crypto. Like, last year, it was just all fun, you could buy some Golos, you could flip that shit, make some money, it's all nice. And now it's just like, man, what the fuck? Bitcoin just dropped $1,500 in 2 minutes. Like, what is going on? And then before you know it, it shoots up $1,500, $2,000 in a few hours. And you're just like, what forces, are out there? It's a whole nother game. I envision it's just going to keep going this way. You got to think, money's incredibly hard to make in this world. People really, well, that's the vision. That's at least what the consensus is, right? So those opportunities only last a little bit. Like, those times when there was no pros in the market last year, when there was just people who were just absolutely out of their mind, it was just so easy to make money. You knew that wasn't going to last. These pros, these sharks were going to come in and they were going to take the football, and that is what they were going to do. Why do I have a lot of football references? A lot of people don't know this, but back in 2007, 2008, 2009, no, not 2006, 2007, 2008, I was the best Madden player in the world. Top 3 years in a row. The best. I wasn't the most talented, right? But I had my little system, and it worked better than anyone could stop. The original no huddler. But this is just why I talk about sports a lot in my analogies. Going through the market, just choppy waters, nice, it's green. This year is really going to be the year of scale. When you're talking about Bitcoin, you're talking about Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, all of these platforms need to prove themselves this year. You have the big bad wolves, you have EOS, you have things like Neo, who are making big claims. Nothing is for certain, hasn't been here yet, right? Nothing's here. But the claims are getting bigger, the money's getting bigger, the technology's improving faster. That's what's happening. The time Bitcoin had is running up. These high fees, slow transaction time, Bitcoin's always going to have a place, in my opinion, because of its immaculate conception. You can't replicate what happened with Bitcoin. So its uniqueness in the way that it's quote unquote not, no CEO. It was the way it was made, right? Satoshi Nakamoto, nobody knows who he was. It's the most decentralized births you could possibly have, in my opinion. And then what happens? It gets slow. The technology hasn't catched up. People don't really care. Okay, so somebody was talking, we're talking about what's going to happen, mass adoption. What's going to be the cryptocurrency that becomes mass adopted the quickest? And it's the one that it has to be something like Bob and Mary that don't know shit about crypto or blockchain. They have to be able to understand it. They have to be able to get some kind of value out of it. That's why I thought Steam It was brilliant, right? That was one of the first times people were using a blockchain and didn't even know they were using a blockchain. They didn't even know they were interfering with, they were actually mining crypto. Like, they were doing some of the most advanced things as a crypto user, but it was so easy because Steam It made it a social media platform. It has to be something that the average person can understand and be interested in. Because if it's not, Bob and Mary don't give a shit about decentralization. They really don't. The average person doesn't care. And I know you can sit here and you can say, hey, I don't care. I'm going to be decentralization. I'm going to go down with the Titanic. I'm going to hold up the flag until the last second. And it's like, that's cool. But what happens is, something like a Walmart, I envision, is going to come out with their own private blockchain, but eventually they're going to, because they have the resources. If you don't have the network effect, meaning if you can't have people from all over the world use your network to make it more powerful, then what you're going to have to do is spend billions and billions and billions of dollars creating your own server farms, creating your own nodes, placing them all over around the world. It's going to cost them a lot of money, a lot of infrastructure, but at least they're going to be able to be more secure for a private blockchain. And then they're going to charge other smaller businesses to use their Walmart blockchain, right? Because that's the future. Blockchain's the future. So just think of it as the internet. It's a new version of the internet. Right now, anyone can be hacked. There was a 15-year-old that hacked the government. One of the reasons why governments don't hack each other is because they're both defenseless. It's kind of like a game of chicken. It's like, well, if I hack them, they're going to hack me. Just like with nukes, right? Why doesn't everyone nuke each other? Because everyone has nukes, and they're like, well, if they nuke, if I don't want to get nuked, if they nuke me. It's the same standoff, but there is no cyber protection. Anyone can hack anybody, almost any given time. That's why you have to keep your shit offline, your crypto offline, or you can be hacked. But getting back to this, the blockchain. So you're going to have places like Walmart doing that. That's why it's a battle right now. People don't understand this. Talking shit, talking down on Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever it is, just because you're trying, you have your own incentives in mind. You don't understand you're playing with fire. This is very, very delicate. We actually, as a species, have gotten underneath the power grab with this cryptocurrency. It kind of came out of left field before, the powers that be could really understand it. And now that it's spread wide enough, they can't just shut it down. They have to work with it. However, you can work with something, have it in your hand, and crush it at any time. We are looked at as nerds, basically, freedom fighters, vigilantes, the people who want this decentralized world. A lot of people don't give a shit about that. A lot of people just want something that's fast and works. And a lot of people is the mentality. It's a lot more people out there that want that. It's a wave. It's a mass. We can't compete against that. So if this mass of people go over to these, these more corporate blockchains and use those because they work better and they're centralized as hell, the private blockchains or the public blockchains, the decentralized ones, are going to become weaker. The network effect is not going to be there. It's only going to be us, the freedom fighters. Everyone else is going to be using those other blockchains, right? So it's very important to get these public blockchains to be powerful and used around the world. It's very, HODL is one thing, but we have to use these things. Use and replace. I'm a big fan of use and replace. I'm not talking about selling it for fiat. I'm talking about actually using it. And we're starting to see, that's why this is the year of scale. Very bad idea to be blockchain, not be blockchain agnostic. I mean, you can hop from blockchain to blockchain. Right now, we're seeing corporations being built, mini corporations, something like a Civic. These, semi-centralized entities that are going to be built onto a public blockchain where everything is public. They can't lie to you. I don't care about centralization in certain aspects. I don't need my barber to be a decentralized hair cutter. Some people, you're getting out of hand with the decentralized. That's not what it's about. It's about making centralized entities honest. Being able to be like, look, you may be centralized, but I can see everything you do. And if you fuck up, we'll just go to someone else. The power of choice. That's what's going to rule. We don't need everything to be decentralized. We need the main fabric to be decentralized. We need the backbone to be decentralized. That's, all these centralized entities need to come from a decentralized spot. Then be built onto a public blockchain. We don't want private blockchains to rule the world. We want public blockchains to be the biggest and baddest. We want people, the public blockchains to compete with the Walmarts. We want to hear, I don't want to hear, I'm not going to throw that out there. I'm just saying, you're kind of, I'm not saying I want the Walmart blockchain to fail. I don't even wish failure upon my enemies. I'm a purist. I want the best. I want you to fight me at your hardest, at your strongest, and I want the best to win. Because when you win at the best, you don't have to worry about winning again. But if you win and they didn't give you your all, it wasn't the real battle. It wasn't the real thing. So, that's getting into something else. But the point is, there's going to be this big head-to-head thing. And you don't understand, if the big corporate blockchains take over and public blockchains don't get mass adopted soon enough, it's going to be kind of like the Death Star. It's going to be kind of like the fucking Darth Vader taking over, because then they can just squash our blockchain. If you try to create a decentralized blockchain, there's going to be so much darkness that no light will get to it, and they'll just crush it from within, right? You'll have no hope. It's kind of like how it is right now, trying to go out and create a new fiat system in a new country. It's almost impossible. And that's what it's going to become. It's going to become this, the corporate blockchains will have so much of the masses, all the people who don't care. They just want something to work better, right? They don't care about decentralization. A lot of people don't. The average person doesn't, still thinks the Federal Reserve is for the United States. They think it's a United States thing. A lot of people, and that's serious. Go ask some people if they think the Federal Reserve is actual with the federal government or not. A lot of people still think that. They don't care. They don't really care. They don't have time to care. They have bills to pay. They have to work. That's how the system's set up. The system is set up to make it to where you don't have time to care. You know, that's just the matter of the fact. But talking bad on Ethereum, you know, Ethereum's trying to do sharding, right-in network. A lot of them are just kind of doing the Lightning Network, trying to say, you know, fuck it, the best way to do it is layer 2 solutions and just have, you know, instant transactions and then use the blockchain as minimal as possible. That's what a lot of them are trying to do. You know, Bitcoin Cash is obviously just raising the blocks. You have other, you know, EOS is doing something a little bit different, delegated proof of stake. You know, you're going to have 21 people who call the shots, 21 different people who could be voted in, voted out, kind of like a Congress or something. It's an honest Congress. So like that's the thing. The ideals of the United States would work fine if there wasn't so much corruption. If the elections, you know, if you could really see where your votes were going, if you could really get the people that you wanted up there, right? Instead of just, you know, where did these people come from? Who run? It's like you get an independent that runs, but the guy never has a chance. You know, it's just, I don't know. You know, what happened to Bernie Sanders? You know, the dude got fucking did dirty by Hillary. You know, that's what this is going to do. It's, you know, autonomous societies. That's what he wants. He wants, you know, Dano wants a new society that's based on blockchain. That's you can't corrupt it. You know, everything's out there. You can't, you know, if you're going to be in a public domain, all your business is going to be public. You know, your records, your cash, all that, what you're spending, where the taxes are going, charities, all of this is going to be revolutionized. So I urge everyone, if you don't like a fucking project, that's fine. But to tear something down to bring yours up, let the best win. You're not doing anybody any good, right? It's like, who has time to worry about if EOS or Ethereum is shit? I have no time to worry about that. I have time to worry about what I think is going to be good, what I believe in. I'm always looking at the good points because the bad points don't really matter if the good points are strong enough. A lot of people look just solely at the bad thing. Oh, this isn't going to work now. This isn't going to work now. But, you know, if you look at a team, if you look at the vision, you have a little bit of heart. It's kind of funny watching Gary Vee. Gary Vee, me and him are really similar, but the opposite. Meaning he's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. He likes to deal with things he can touch, things that are here now. Not on the big dreamer side. I'm like the opposite. I like to go long range. I really like to look, you know, really take the big risks, the big rewards, really take a lot of belief. But when it comes down to our core, it's kind of the same, right? It's just really speaking our mind and just telling it how it is. And just trying, you know, I'm not saying I'm trying to help people. That's not, you know, that's not really the goal. We really don't have a goal, right? Just get in this fucking microphone and talk. But talking about the future of this, 2018 is the year of scale. We should not diss it. We need to make this technology as great as possible, spread word so Bob and Sally and Mary and all of these people can learn the technology, get on board. Things like IoT, you know, you're going to be ordering food through your refrigerator. You know, you're going to be getting toast and ordering, you know, lunch for the day through your toaster. It's going to be amazing how everything is connected. And that's one last thing. I'll end it here. The projects that are convenient, that can save time, and that are really have a head on their shoulders, but really just blockchain agnostic, going to save time, bring value. These are the projects that are really good because blockchain is really going to shake and be a very big disruptor. And IoT is going to be sitting right there because the whole world is ready for it. The whole world is ready for it. So once the connections start, it's going to be very, very fast. So I'm definitely looking at that. And of course, AR, VR, you know, AR is really coming on strong. I believe that's going to be absolutely massive towards the end of this year, beginning next year, 2020. AR is going to be a part of our lives. It's just how it is. VR is going to come in. That's how video games, movies, everything's going to be done in VR, in my opinion. Just seeing a radical shift. I really believe things like YouTube, that's why I like Spective, is because VR is, I think that's the new norm. That's what people are going to do. Like, if it's not VR, then what the fuck are you looking at? I think YouTube, everything's going to be VR. Anytime you get onto your computer, once you enter the internet realm, it's going to be through a digital body and a VR headset. Like all the movies, right? I mean, why wouldn't that be? If I'm on the internet right now and I could have VR glasses and I could, you know, literally talk to people, like, okay, instead of a Skype call, we can be in the same room. I mean, that's dope shit. So I really think, you know, it's very easy for me to look into 10 years from in the future and say, hey, what happens if Bitcoin hits 1 million and all my, and EOS does this and all yada, yada, yada. What happens? And it's funny to think, now I'm going to end it here, but it's funny to think that if you go to your 10-year-old self and let's say Bitcoin hits 1 million, if you would have just held, you would have been fine for life, right? And then you have this knowledge, but then, you erase your mind and you go back here and you have your setup. I swear, it doesn't matter. It's like you're always going to try to, flip your Bitcoin to make a little bit more, taking all these risks, yada, yada, yada. It's like if you would have just held. So I'm a big fan of having a nest egg and forgetting about it because, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And if you overtrade and you're inexperienced, because most of us are inexperienced in the trading markets. A lot of us are new traders, right? Because the stock market really became twisted towards the end. The closer I got into crypto, stocks were just getting to be ridiculous. But yeah, I'm just saying that. Now this is long. I'm going to kill it here. Cheers. Peace.